Yes, children like that lemonade. This episode of the House of the Savage is brought to you by DabHub. You can visit DabHub at www.dab-hub.com, but your aunt can't do shit there because there ain't nothing on it yet. So too fucking bad. But please feel free to contact us if you'd like to check out what we have going on. And now live from a room. The House of the Savage.
Ooh.
Howdy ho, boys and girls.
What's up? My name is Andrew.
And I'm Joey. Pleasure to see you all again. We miss Mike. Mike couldn't be here tonight. He's doing some weird Haitian stuff that I don't know what he does.
Some religion shit?
Some deep backwoods.
Santeria.
Some tobacco burning and.
Alright, well, good luck.
Nah.
I don't know why. I don't really do that stuff.
Mike's a beautiful man and I love him.
Yeah.
Nah, he's tied up. He's got a lot going on right now, but
life.
Hopefully next week we'll be able to snag him up and
nice.
Have him look small in between us. Us two galoots. So, welcome to House of the Savage.
Well,
we're very happy to be here with you guys. We want to start off tonight talking about every time we get together we talk about our family, especially like fathers, grandfathers. They're just when you come from certain ethnic backgrounds, and I'm sure every culture has it's weird dad shit, but like being a Ginzo and Andrew being Cuban.
Yeah, I'm half Italian, half Cuban, so it's just animals on each side. Total maniacs growing up with.
So a lot of the time we put the focus on dads, but we both have grandfathers that have been into some strange shit, so we wanted to share some shady grandpa stories.
Very influential.
These are, and the reason why is House of the Savage is about making better males. Like, we're two fat dudes trying to get healthier, trying to feel better, be there for our families and our friends,
take care of business,
take care of our endeavors, and we were lucky enough to have eccentric OGs as grandfathers, like real crazy motherfuckers.
You gotta have like guides in life, and it's important when you have certain people who teach you lessons in kind of many ways. Maybe teach you, wow, like I don't want to ever do that. That looks horrible. Or, teach you the right way to go about something. It's interesting that we both have that in common.
Yeah, and it's amazing how being around these people, especially when you're really, really young and you're soaking in mannerisms,
so formative, yeah,
absolutely. And the way you talk, the way that you carry yourself, it's like so there's like this.
It shapes your manhood.
The soup of my person that is all my grandfathers, my father, like. I think I get like my compassion and that kind of shit from my mother and stuff like that. Like, I think you learn different shit as you see it being displayed in the world around you. But shady grandpa shit, like we tossed a coin before. I'm lying to you. No, we didn't. Well, one thing that I thought was really strange was I got let in on a strange fact about my great-grandfather on my mother's side. They always used to joke around that the frangipanis were like, part black, because they all had like real flat noses. They were real dark and stuff. But everyone said Sicily.
We're Southern Guineas.
If someone was like full on black on that side of the family, they weren't about to tell anybody in the 1930s.
No one was gonna let that cat out of the bag.
But during the Depression, my grandfather Jimmy, he used to be a grave robber. And they used to look in the obits and like fucking look.
I don't know why that's so fucking funny to me, but because you've told me before, and it's still really funny to me. Like, because even looking at my own family, it's like, yeah, like I could see that even happening in my family, nobody being like, "Oh God, it's bad," or I'll just people being like, "Hey, he's a fucking whatever." Like, you know what I mean? Like there's been such animals, such fucking savages.
Well, it's like how Patrice would say, like, what about those girls who don't bring anything to the table but their tits and ass?
Right.
Like, let them be hoes. Is one of those things where it's like, he was uneducated.
Right. Well, it's on some man shit. It's like, that's what you're gonna do, like, And you're talking great grandfather, so you're talking like what, a fucking 100 years ago?
Yeah, he was doing this in the 10s, 20s, 30s.
Fucking 100 fucking years ago. Get the fuck out of here. Go ahead.
But
Rob Graves.
Well, the thing was, supporting the family. There wasn't work, the depression, all that shit. Like,
fuck.
It was just,
They were barely people. They were barely people then. Looking at my family, 5 generations back, maybe. That was a monkey for sure. Like, we don't go that deep. We were talking about that just a little while ago. Certain ethnic groups definitely have a little more fucking savage in them, a little more man or whatever. But I love that. It cracks me up every time I hear you say that he was a grave robber. It's not even like laughing funny to me. It's like that, like.
Well, what was really bananas about him was he was this fucking savage criminal that would like go to jail. And, he'd fuck people up. Like, someone cut him off when I was 3 years old. I was in the car and he beat the shit out of him with his fucking cane. Like, he's a fucking lunatic. But to my mom and to me, he was fucking the sweetest human being.
Yeah, I mean.
But that was it. That was as much as his heart would let out. And then
the man has to wear a lot of hats in life, though, I mean.
A lot of people too. They just get hardened, especially after digging up other people's bodies and taking jewelry off. Like, it's probably not a very pleasant thing.
So that was your grandfather's father.
That was my grandmother's father.
Grandmother's father.
Yeah, and like he was a fucking legend for doing awful things. But it's hard to imagine going to that lane. Like, dude, they would check out the obits and shit to see if anyone that was like wealthy would die. Wait for them, and like they'd be right there, fucking cutting the rings off the fingers and shit. It's fucking insane.
That's wild.
I
wonder, do you know the mechanics? Would they like cover it back up like it was never even robbed, or were they just like, fuck it, leave it open, we're out, like we got it?
That's completely left to speculation because
maybe it's totally circumstantial.
I was 5, 6 when he died.
Yeah.
And I was told that then at his funeral.
At 6 years old?
Yeah, because when my grandfather would be like, see a Pap there? Like, Papa Jimmy? He used to rob graves. And I'd be like, what's that mean? Like, take the stones? Like, you're 5.
Right, yeah.
And he goes, no, he'd dig up the bodies and take the jewelry off of them and sell it. And I understood as much as I could.
Right.
I thought maybe like all the rings in like Sears were all dead people's rings. That they never make new rings. That they're just recycled. Like, hysterical. He was a grave robber. Just like your dad was a dentist. Like that was a job back then. Right. Like I didn't understand it was a bad thing, but I understood that. Yeah. Okay, I guess he takes people's jewelry and makes sure it gets to other people. Mm-hmm. It's noble. Don't want to just sit there in the ground. That's a nice ring.
That's hilarious.
Maybe Susie would like that ring.
Don't let it just sit there in the ground. It's funny how like a kid breaks down some shit like that they see.
Well, just like everything else, making sense of the world around them.
Yeah, you rationalize it in some form.
All you got is whatever your understanding is, that scope of it. Like, just because I don't understand how, something works doesn't mean it's not there working.
Right. So. Yeah. No, but that's hilarious. I mean, looking back at my own grandfather, it's like the shit you learn when you don't really know you're learning it. You know what I mean? That dude was like just a beast. Well into his 70s, he would just jump into your car if you had a problem with it, like start taking your fucking shit apart. I remember I was like pulling up at my grandparents' house. I see my sister's car up on those like, those horses, those ride-up horses, propped up. And I see my grandfather's feet sticking out from under their car. And I'm like, oh my God, am I riding up on my grandfather like dead right now? Like, is this like a heart attack, a stroke, the heat? Because his legs aren't moving and shit. And I'm like fucking scared. I go up. And I'm like, hey, Poopa. And he's like, hey. And he fucking comes out from under. He's like sweating his balls off. He's got grease all over his hand. He's like, I just finished doing your sister's fucking brakes. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, it's like 100 fucking degrees out of here, dude.
Holy
and he's like, hey, you gotta get it done when you gotta get it done. What the fuck are you doing? Like, and I was like, yeah, I was bringing food. And he's like, all right, good, I'm fucking hungry. Like, and he I think he must have been 76, 77. He was fucking deep into his 70s, and he was just still a fucking beast. Over the past couple years, he's 83 now. He's like started to have, a lot more fatigue, and the old age hit him a lot more. But the dude's always been such a hilarious motherfucker. We'd go to like casino, we'd go to the buffet, and then he'd be like walking around the casino and hand you his jacket, and he'd be like, feel how heavy that is. And I'm like, what? Feel how heavy that is. And I'm like, I grab his jacket, and I'm like, what the fuck? It sounds like there's armor in the fucking thing. It's like all the steak knives he could get a hold of, and like a bunch of salt and pepper shakers and shit.
Oh, he's taking hardware.
We're never going to run out of salt. He would take like cookies and shit too. Like that would be like one particular casino. He always hit up the cookies. He would just be like handing you cookies the rest of the fucking day, like out of his members only jacket.
Oh my god.
He was fucking hysterical. Going to
the
grocery store, and he'll just D up the fucking grapes, throw a big bag of grapes or a big bag of cherries into his fucking cart. If there's pits in the cherries, he spit them right on the fucking floor. Keep walking. He's a fucking total animal, and if somebody starts shit with him, he's like ready. It's crazy. I've never seen him kowtow or back down. He always knows what to say. He says crazy racial shit to people all the fucking time, and no one seems to get mad.
Well, because that's a different kind of racism.
It's not even racism. It's like Archie Bunker bigotry kind of thing.
But it was like respect.
He'd be like, you know what I'm talking about. You're a Puerto Rican. To a guy, you know what I mean? Like, and the guy's like, I'm Venezuelan. Yeah, all right. It's the same thing. Like, and he'll even say, like crazy racist stories about how he was trying not to be racist, but he'll quote all the racist shit that happened in the story. Like, when I first moved to the South, holy shit, they treat the Mulignans like shit. They call them nigga. And I'm like, yeah, I heard that. And we're in the restaurant. I'm hearing this fucking story in the middle of the fucking day. You know what I mean? He's a trip. And I'd be like, yeah, but I never liked that. We said Mulignan, if anything. But he'll still even use that in like a non-aggressive term. He'll be like, Rachel, my grandma, he'll be like, who is that good-looking Mulignan who sang so fucking good on the TV the other night we were watching? And she'll be like, Smokey Robinson. Oh yeah, what a fucking handsome Mulignan that guy was, huh? And you're like, this doesn't seem bad. This does not seem racist at all. You know what I mean? Like, and he talks that way in front of every fucking buddy.
It's just a different.
It's just the way he talks. Like, he talks that way in front of everybody, and no one ever gets mad. No one ever gets crazy.
Yeah, no one called. And
I've seen a couple times where people got offended at first, and he'll like chill them down. He knows how to like talk to people. It's crazy. He's always been awesome at that. Never would get crazy violent unless it only had to get that way, and then it got crazy as fuck. He was nuts. He was real
true diplomat.
Real Brooklynese.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. That's where both sides of my family are from.
Brooklyn, yeah.
Brooklyn, so like I grew up with some savage characters.
Yeah.
Like my dad's father. You ever seen Hey Arnold?
Yes.
When I was a kid, he looked just like that. He had the wife beater with the suspenders with the brown pants.
That's fucking hilarious.
And he had like the bald head with the bump, and he was like real skinny and no teeth, and
Blank.
Beta, hey,
That's your grandfather?
Great
grandfather.
This is a grandfather, but he was old as fuck. Like he was an old man, but when he was young, he was like that calculating psychopath, angry guy. Like he wasn't just the dad that's like shut up. Like he was more like. They had Christmas dinner when my dad was like 5 or 6, and he got my dad the Hopalong Cassidy fucking bike with the matching toy gun. This guy had 5 kids, like back in the 50s, and he was.
Back then it was crazy, right? Like I'm 31, going to be 32, and I just had my first kid a few months back, and back then they would have been like done by 30 they already had 3 kids. You know what I mean? Like that shit was crazy. Fuck that.
That's a life no one should have.
No. You should have kids when you're like, do you want to do this shit?
No wonder when he had ball cancer, he was just rubbing fucking Pim's Figaro on that fucking tumor. Please kill me now. I've had enough. That poor man.
5 fucking kids.
But
fuck that.
They're sitting there and they're arguing over like the fucking piece of Italian bread.
Mm-hmm.
And he's sitting there, and as the story goes, he's sitting there and he's like, got his hands together, and he sits like this, and he's waiting. He goes, bread? bread, Christmas, in front of Jesus,
Christmas.
And then he stands up and he goes, here's the bread, and he opens the fucking window. And this is the second story in a fucking Brooklyn brownstone. He opens the window and he throws the table with all the food, all the silverware.
Wow.
Here's your bread, your fucking bread. And then he took the bicycle through it, and everyone's screaming.
Getting explosions.
So and then nothing happened. He'd sit down back in his chair with no table there, just sit there. Everyone's completely horrified. They all have PTSD. The next day, the kids wake up for fucking Christmas. They think they got the spray snow that they used to have back in the 60s and 50s. It's the PTSD gray patch on the side of the fucking...
That's fucking hilarious.
I saw mommy getting beaten by Santa Claus.
It's crazy, too, when you think back to, your parents, grandparents, shit like that. Man, I'm just some fucking guy, right? And I got a kid now. And all my fuck-ups are going to be witnessed by this person. You know what I mean? So when I look at my parents now, especially, I'm like, oh, man, I can't even hold them to such a high standard as I may have when I was younger, thinking they were bad parents or good parents or whatever. It's they were just fucking people living their fucking lives. So they fucked up probably here and there, but they were pretty decent folks. Luckily. My grandfather was interesting. He was always, boisterous, talkative, loud. And then my dad's dad was very opposite of that. He was also kind of a crazy savage. He was a fisherman or some shit in Cuba. Came from really hard, tough people. I wasn't as close with them, but the things I do remember about him would be he would ask you a question, and it would just be real serious. He'd be "Get a candy?" You want candy? And he'd be "See?" And he'd be "Okay, better." And he'd just walk with me, take my hand, walk with me, really
robotic.
Yeah, not even robotic, purposeful as fuck. You know what I mean? Take me to the gas station at the corner. ¿Qué candy quiere? What kind of cake? And then I remember one time I was getting chocolate M&Ms, and he was "Oye, mira," and he tells me in Spanish these are bullshit. You get the peanut M&Ms, you get the chocolate, and the fucking peanut. These are Egypt, these fucking regular ones. That's some cheap ass shit. This is the fucking one to get. Cógelo con el peanut. Cógelo con el peanut. And I was okay. And I remember that shit to this day. He was that's bullshit. You get a peanut in every piece of chocolate here. This is just chocolate, and it's not even as big. He had a whole fucking argument for it.
Dude, grandpas are crazy like that.
Yeah, little weird things. And then he was also he was quiet. When I got older, all he ever wanted to talk to me about was fighting. He loved boxing and shit. But when I was a kid, we'd go to his house, and he'd be "Quiere refresca," which is refreshment, and he'd be "Oh yeah, sure, yeah, I'll have something to drink." And his wife, wherever she was at, he'd be "Refresca," and she would just drop what the fuck she was doing, knitting some shit or whatever. And he would my grandmother had passed away by then, and he had another wife, and she would just run into the kitchen, get drinks for everybody, or he'd be "Café," yell coffee really loud, and she would fucking scamper off and try to make coffee.
Holy shit.
He was he ran shit crazy, old school spick shit. He ran shit in that fucking house. He was always awesome to me. He never hit me or nothing like that, but he was fucking hard as fuck with his wife. I remember that shit real good.
I gotta say, all my grandfathers, there's never been a wife beater on any side of my family.
No, I don't think. I think my grandparents might have gotten a couple tussles, a couple shakedowns with each other growing up, but nothing that ever split them up or fucked up their shit or whatever.
Yeah, they're all decent guys.
Yeah.
So
even people that do fucked up shit most of the time, man, at the core are good people. You know what I mean? Which brings us back to your grave robbing grandfather. He did what he had to do. You know what I mean?
He wasn't robbing living people. I think that's more terrifying.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I would have more respect for a guy that digs up graves instead of scaring living people.
Yeah, or hurting people.
Honestly, if someone dug up my
grave,
grave,
you're not really hurting. And if they fucking buried the rings and shit, people probably don't care that fucking much about them. So fuck it.
Burial's a weird thing in its own.
Yeah, it is. I don't think I want to be buried. I think I'll be cremated. It'll be easier and cheaper.
I want to be liquefied.
Injected into my wife's tits.
Pour me into fucking a shot thing at some sleazy bar. Shot? You want a shot? Ugh.
I like that funeral I saw for that fat fucking Hawaiian guy who sang nice with the nice cover of
Over the
Armstrong
Rainbow
song. Yeah, is what's his name?
I forget. All I know
he
is
had a long Hawaiian last name. That I'm not gonna try that. But his name, but he was fucking.
We'll call him Bobby Coconuts.
Big fat Bobby Coconuts. They did him. A Hawaiian wolf will probably fight you for that. Hawaiians are scrappy motherfuckers. There will be a Hawaiian wolf. Everybody Hawaii, you say that about his, huh? I'll give you Bobby Coconut one time, brother. Fucking, there's a lot of Hawaiian guys in MMA, like, in the fight world. If you see if you're fighting Mikey Kamanawalehama, like, fuck, like, that guy, I'm gonna have to kill that guy. Like, fucking, he's gonna be fucking tough. But fucking, his funeral was crazy. Like, we're talking about grandfathers, and you think about their mortality and shit. Now, like, the old school shit, like a wake. Remember wakes? You ever been to? Yeah, I remember my mother's wake. Jesus Christ, it was so many days of fucking staring at a box, like, and everybody just being so bummed out, eating till you feel like shit, about feeling like shit, and then you go fucking sleep and go do it again. That guinea wake shit is crazy. My grandfather was like, we used to have your bodies in the house for a week because they'd put ice in the room. Oh my God,
crazy. In the parlor. That's what a parlor was for.
Roast me up, take me to the beach like that fucking guy is, have a party, feed the fish. You know what I'm saying? Fucking that comedian Jim Jeffries had a good story where he was like doing that with a buddy's ashes in some beach that they used to surf at. And then they just got like doused with all his muddy ashes, and they were all fucking grossed out, and showered their friend down the drains into the sewer of Bondi Beach. I love that idea. That fucking...
I just want to be put in a fucking cannon and fired into a brick wall 5 feet away. And be filled with candy and just everyone's go through the blood and candy and just... That's fucking. And I want to start a GoFundMe. People, if you're listening, I'm starting a GoFundMe to get a Van Halen cover band or tribute band to play my funeral.
Well, at this point, you can probably get Van Halen.
Yeah, they're awful. I'd rather get the tribute band.
Those videos we watched the other day were so fucking sad.
By the way, Michael Anthony, you'll never see this because you don't know what we are. No one does. But Michael Anthony, I stand by you, bro. Fuck Eddie Van Halen and his ass and his brother and his fucking chubby son. All right?
He's overplaying chubby son.
Yeah, overplaying. Like, I'm an overplayer on the bass because I get bored. So I can understand that a little bit, but not when you're playing fucking Van Halen tunes. Van Halen, but you want to know what? Good. Let them ruin Van Halen because Chickenfoot's better. Fucking classic Van Halen. That's like my shit. It's travesty what you guys have done to the name. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
They're just so beat. That's what's wrong, man. And Dave's voice is shot, unfortunately. I love that guy too, man. But
there's a reason why you look like a fucking Down syndrome gay Peter North with gray hair. Now, Eddie Van Halen, so fuck you for what you did to that band.
What did you tell me? They cut out his tongue. He can't even say nothing back about this.
Hey, who knows?
His tongue is fucking gone.
It's up his ass.
It's up his son's ass.
Wow, we spent 23 minutes on Grandpa. That's beautiful. We're going to come back to Grandpa's at some other point in another show because there's too many stories.
There's so many stories. My grandfather has a story about his friend who could tie his dick in a knot. He steals everything. Yeah, there's a lot of stories.
I tell you what, I promise you guys next time, just remind us. We'll remind ourselves. The dick in a knot story. Yes. I need to hear that again. One thing we want to talk about. Both of us were athletes.
Are fat
in different. Yeah, when I were fat, we were athletes at one point.
Of fatness.
And I've always been a larger athlete, but I've always been athletic and doing athletic stuff. And then once guitar playing and writing music and poetry became more of a thing in my life, the less I started fucking doing physical things.
Yeah.
And then it just fucking spiraled into getting stoned, writing music, eating. Getting stoned, writing music, eating.
Oh, it's so fun getting there though. Becoming fat was a really great ride.
It really is.
Now that I'm a fat fuck, I'm not so psyched about it. But I mean, having competed in a fairly high level of mixed martial arts and kickboxing, and just in any sport, I think anybody who you get to that certain point, you do it, and then you got to stop or whatever, and then you're like, yeah, what am I training for? I'm like in awe of the guys that like always stay training. Once I didn't have to train to like not get beat up, I was like, oh, good, and then I stayed eating terribly, and boom.
Well, the thing is I think there's people that is their life, and then there's people that's a part of their life.
Some guys love training, and some guys love fighting. Some guys are really fortunate, and they love both. You know what I mean? You talk to a guy like Chuck Liddell or a guy like Rampage Jackson, who are two guys that I looked up to in the sport when I was coming up, is like, they always talk about the reward is the fight. All the training blows. You know what I mean? Like, and I definitely fell into that mindset. I wish I was a guy who appreciated the training more when I was going through it. But it was boring a lot of the time. You're doing so much repetition. And some stuff is fun, some stuff is exciting. You know what I mean? When you get to train new things, new places, new people. But that's not always the case. The day in, day out, getting up at 4 a.m. to run, that's training. Like, that shit sucks balls. When instead you can stay in your warm bed. You know what I mean? Like, that's the difference. Or, in our case in Florida, your air-conditioned fucking bedroom instead of your 95% humidity fucking outside. But now it's like, oh, now I've got to go back. Try and undo the damage. It's like trying to plant crops in soil that you just fucking dropped a nuke on.
Well, our end game that we want you guys to be a part of, because, again, part of what House of the Savage is doing is, you know, we really want to create fucking an atmosphere where guys can, like, be the best fucking dude they can be.
Yeah, like what you said the other day, make better men. You know what I mean? Like, talking about being a savage is like getting it done in whatever your aspect, you know, whatever that means for you. Like, you know, I have a kid, I'm in school, I have, you know, other ventures that I'm striving towards, like things I'd like to get done in my life. And, you know, if I can attack them savagely and get them accomplished, that'll be a good thing for me. You know? So that's what we're trying to do. And that's what we want to kind of like put out there, that vibe of getting it done while you're, you know, baked and shit, like most of the time.
So I think what we're going to go for, 30 pounds in 60 days.
Okay. And I've done nothing to this point to try and, like, get myself in better shape. I just blew my knee as well. So it's like now has got to be the time where it's like, okay, your body's starting to fucking fall apart underneath your girth. I'm right now probably like 335 pounds, standing about 6'2". And like needing to get down at least 65. Mm-hmm. I used to be like 270, 280, 290 when I was training and I was competing. Walking around at that weight.
So I was like 230, then I went up to 500, then I lost. Now I got down to like 270, and now I'm back up to 3.
I think my heaviest I've been has been like 350 something, like maybe like close to 360.
What we're gonna do
is rough. That's rough. You feel that shit so bad. So it hurts so much, makes you feel so bad physically.
We're gonna weekly give you guys an update, what we're doing.
Do a weigh-in and shit.
We're gonna tell you what works, what doesn't work. That's the most important thing, is to share with you guys like what works for us. I lost 170 pounds in one shot going down without backsliding. Mm-hmm. And
that's big. That's good.
And it wasn't very hard the way I was doing it. It was just my whole thing is we used to hunt and gather food,
right?
Which took walking and running and stuff.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I would walk 3 times a day. Even like if I was at work on lunch break, I would go and just walk around the parking lot.
No, that's a great strategy. And I mean, like, maintaining physical shit is really important. Like now with my kid, I'm super active. Like, can't help it. Even with the knee, it's like I still got a bunch of shit to do. I'm carrying a 20-pound little fucking kettlebell, my kid every day. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, but beyond that, the hardest part for me is gonna be changing the diet and not eating like a fucking dog in the alley. Well, just whatever comes across my path.
I'm gonna share with you guys right now what worked for me the best. Mm-hmm. And this took a lot of trial and error. I tried a lot of different fucking things. This is what worked for me. Get a shit ton of the Bird's Eye or Jolly Green Giant or whatever it is, the frozen vegetables. Mm-hmm. Some of them come lightly sauced and stuff. And like I know there's like these trainers that everything's gonna be raw and this and that. Mm-hmm. No, you're just trying to drop weight and fucking not kill yourself and end up at Wendy's because you're eating a pepper.
Right.
Like fuck that. Like this is something that's feasible. Mm-hmm. They have like like garlic. They have all different flavors. They have cheese. And I mean, is it the best thing for you? Maybe chemically not. But I dropped a ton of weight and felt good. So it felt better than burgers. Mm-hmm. So I get get my bags of veggies for the week. I get the pineapple rings, a bunch of bananas. Then I get some sort of like a protein powder that has no sugar.
Yeah, like hemp protein.
Yeah, there's one that the UFC puts out. I forget the name of it. Mm-hmm. I'll pop it on the cast sometime. But like, it's a big green and black bottle. It's like $60, but it's like enough to last you like a month or two. You make like little puddings with it throughout the day, like a little bit of water, a little bit of almond milk or something, or skim milk. And what I would do is just in the morning, have a piece of pineapple, a banana.
Definitely the banana thing works. I mean, for me, I'm just gonna go back to like what I was doing when I was training, and I know I had to like make weight. You know what I mean? Like, let's say I had to make 265 or like 260, or if it was a grappling tournament, I wanted to get like under 249. Like, and I knew I had to cut X amount of weight. I mean, the weeks before the cut, all you're doing is taking in like low calorie meals multiple times a day. You're doing, as much intermittent working out as you can. You're eating stuff that's like dense and filling and like high nutrient value, low in caloric intake, like lentils and rice and fucking, baked fish, shit like that. I'm gonna just do like that and a ton of greens because the fiber will fill you up.
Yep.
And you'll shit like a champion. You'll feel like amazing.
It's one thing I never have a problem with.
Shitting?
Like, even if I don't eat, or
if I eat terrible shit, I'll be fucked up a little bit.
If I eat like a block of cheese, I'll shit like I ate a salad.
Really?
It's the scariest fucking thing.
No, man, I had to fucking get a camera up my ass once because I was fucked up. I felt like I swallowed a whole pine cone in my guts. And they were just telling me like, oh yeah, you just all fucking fucked up because you eat like an asshole. Eat some green shit, bro. Stop eating just meat and fried vegetables.
Like The Simpsons, if you rub it on a piece of copy paper and it turns clear, you should probably eat that if you're trying to gain some weight. So one thing I definitely wanted to talk about is prolific comedy moments. And every week I want to do a moment in comedy where I think either like a great truth or something that people laugh at, but it's not really a joke. It's really like a solid observation. And I think I'm going to be able to show you guys whatever clips we got. So I'm going to go and put on a clip. It's Bill Hicks dealing with a heckler.
I know the clip you're talking about.
Even though it's not like a comedy bit that he wrote, it's still a comedy moment.
Oh yeah.
And I love getting heckled because I'm just a dude on stage talking. You should make fun of me. Who gives a shit what I have to say? So I get a kick out of it. I'm not one of those guys that's like, I'm performing. Like fuck those guys. If you can't deal with that crowd interaction, like, to me, that's the beauty of it. Like, no one did it like Kaufman. He made it to...
Kaufman was almost fucking heckling the crowd, it felt like.
Well, that was the thing is, he blurred it. Well, that's but that's what you do if you're a fucking mastermind.
He was a nut. I love that guy.
But, like, when I used to do the emceeing for the Reckless Dames at Speakeasy, if someone tried to heckle me, I would make it insane. Like, I made this one joke about how, like, these terrorists are doing it all wrong. If you want to get fucking people outraged in the U.S., you got to kill some children. All right, bombing a financial institution and killing some Jews and stuff. Like, that's a blow. Like, that's like I grazed your jaw with a nice jab. But if you want to like uppercut America in the stomach, like blow up a playground, like fucking. And I'm like, and these poor people. I'm like, these people with their kids. I'm like, what the fuck,
I go one better. I don't even blow up a playground, bro. Like, dude, blow up some shit that cuts out everybody's cable. That would make everybody furious. Because some kids that die, right? Especially if they're not your kids.
Yeah.
It's a sad story on the news, man. And there's so many of those that we're completely...
But how long does it really stay in your fucking...
Yeah, just till the next news day, bro. Like, that's it, man.
Well, what ended up happening...
Just until it's not a hot story.
There's a girl in the audience...
So, like, fuck up the cable, fuck up the internet, fuck up, like, people being able to get pizza delivered to their house somehow. Like, fuck that up. That's the only thing that will change the way we do things. We are lulled. We've been lulled into like a comfortable coma.
Of course.
We're just like so close to just everybody having to hover around. Like, we're so close. We're so fucking
that'd
close.
be perfect, man. You totally fucking make a docile population.
Yeah, we'd be completely cattle, completely reliant. You just have to sit down and take it. So an in shape dude who just looked like a freak. Like, oh my god, look at that.
I'm gonna rename this fucking show Segways. The show that can never stay
House of the Segways.
Oh,
well, that speaks to the getting in shape topic. Bouncing between you two.
So let me see if I can find this
Bill Hicks clip.
heckler thing.
Well, I mean, like, you want to talk about a guy like Bill Hicks, you want to talk about comedy moments. He's one of those people who, even after he's died, he's continued to produce comedy moments where you have guys like Dennis Leary who are, let's say, heavily influenced by Bill Hicks. Or you have, the documentaries and shit that came out. Like, we wouldn't know about Bill Hicks without the internet and shit like that. When you learn about a guy like that.
Well, I saw Carlin and Hicks when I was really young.
Really? That's awesome.
Because we had HBO, we had the box.
Oh, you saw him on TV. Okay.
So I got, and like, there was something about the delivery,
mm-hmm.
how these people talked that just fucking had me like,
made you love them.
It was like listening to family members yelling about shit.
The first comedy I ever saw that I felt like I wasn't supposed to see was a VHS copy of An Evening with Robin Williams. And it was fucking hilarious. He like took a camera from an audience member and took a picture of his dick. Phenomenal. Fucking.
He's a fucking nut job. I love that guy.
And then the next one I saw after that was Eddie Murphy. I want to say he's either Raw or Delirious, and I was just like, I've always felt like I wasn't supposed to watch it. Remember my grandfather had like Red Fox fucking.
Red Fox is another fucking.
He had albums of Red Fox, and like. I mean, that show was awesome. You want to talk about comedy moments? Red Fox, the story about the fucking writer's room. Did you ever hear that story?
No.
He was like, how come there's not more black writers on my staff? Get all these motherfuckers out of here. Hire me some black writers. And then, like, a couple weeks into shooting, he was like, bring me back all them Jews. Get rid of these niggas. Bring me back. And he fired all his fucking friends that he hired and shit.
That's so fucking
funny. I mean, talk about comedy moments. Like, I feel like it's like, it's cool, like, especially, like, knowing you're getting into it, you know what I mean? That you've been, like, have, like, a comedy career that you're beginning is like very cool because it's like this. It's kind of like a living thing. Because like Carlin and those guys, to us, to comedy fans, like they're not gone even really. We can just type them right up, find them.
No, they're and it lives on other people's work. Like
for sure.
Like CK carries on that Carlin cynicism and in his own way.
The ethic, how many fucking specials Carlin put out, how many Louis puts out. There's like an ethic that goes with it that seems to be pervasive through those two cats that exists in both of them, where they're both like driven in a way.
Yeah, no, and I absolutely adore Louis C.K.
Yeah, I love that.
See that me like I really want to like write cartoons, scripts.
That would be fun.
Shows,
I'd love
kids.
to draw for a cartoon.
I love doing like radio type, fucking kind of shit.
Absolutely.
I love going on stage too, but stand-up's a great medium, especially philosophically.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, what you could do with like cartoons, or what you could do with like
I feel
film,
like stand-up's even better now outside of the philosophical aspect because you have shit like podcasts. Every comedian that I am into, like the Tom Segura's and Ari Shafir's, the Joe Rogans,
they all got their own.
They'll have their own podcast and shit too, right? So they can like espouse philosophically all they fucking want on their podcast, and they just are funny on stage. You know what I mean? Like there's a point they're trying to get across, but they're not so. It doesn't seem so like desperate to be pushed through.
No,
you know what I mean? In favor of shit being funny.
So I'm gonna throw this Hicks clip on. Let's see if I can get
this
to work.
That's probably one of the best heckler situations all time recorded. This is pre-cell phone shit.
Okay, guys, sorry.
Be my little echo.
Now she fucked with him.
She's totally set.
You fucking cunt. Get the fuck out of here right now. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you, you idiot. You're everything that America should be flushed down the toilet, you fucking turd. Get out. Get out, you fucking drunk bitch. Take her out. Take her fucking out. Take her somewhere that's good. Go see fucking Madonna, you fucking idiot piece of shit.
Take her somewhere that's good.
You suck. I can yell at the comedian because I'm a drunk cunt. That gives me I can do anything I want. I don't have a dog. I can yell at performers because I'm a fucking idiot because I got a gun. I want you to go find a fucking show.
He's so mad. It's great. The way he sits on the stool after.
Sorry, I didn't see that.
So comfortable.
For your next Arsenio spot. Gee, I haven't seen a comic, go running around the room going, I'm a drunk god. Is there a punchline coming, Bill? Is there a point of view there? Son, I'm going to need to feel some emotion from you. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a phenomenal video.
That's
definitely a comedy moment, a legendary comedy moment.
Like, when he scampers across the stage, and then at the end of it all, he goes, well, I'm sorry that you all had to witness that. Like, that is that controlled chaos, Kaufman, blurring the lines of reality, mind fuck, thinking on the spot genius.
I think part of it too is like when you said thinking on the spot, it's a great example of like, it's just explosion, just reactionary. When he was just like, I suck. Like, he just like stewed for a moment before he fucking exploded on that chick. It was great. And then he just wrote it. He just wrote what he felt. He wrote that shit in like a fucking wave to the beach. That's a classic moment for sure.
Fucking went insane. Is there a clip that you wanted me to show the good people?
A comedy clip that I can think of off the top of my head? I think that one is... It's going to be hard to beat, man.
I mean, next week we can throw something on there.
Yeah, we'll do something else next week. That's going to be hard to beat. That's a pretty fucking amazing comedy moment to think about. I can think about a bunch of times that guys dealt with hecklers. Like, Rogan's got a bunch of great heckler videos. You know what I mean? But, like... That's pretty all-encompassing, that Hicks one right there. That's like one of the greatest comedy moments of all time, impromptu comedy moments of all fucking time.
I'll tell you guys what, next week we'll come at you with another prolific comedy moment, and maybe at the end of the month when we get the Dab Hub site up and running 100%, we'll do a little top 5 best heckler moments thing.
That would be... Well, I don't know the name of the comic, but you ever see the one where he bashes dude with the fucking guitar?
Yes.
He's like,
oh my
y'all
God.
saw him come at me! And they're like, no! That's a great one, too.
My favorite is like, and I will save it for the list, but I'll talk to you about it after. I'm sure you know which one it is. Once I tell you, you'll be like, duh, of course. But it's time to go into something that I've been wanting to talk about because it's something that's making life hard for a lot of people.
Shit.
And it's setting a lot of fucking bad precedents.
Oh, shit.
Talking about white knights.
Oh, shit.
And the attack on manhood.
It's going deep right now.
And
see, I feel like I'm a little bit outside of this issue because I'm married, and I've already ruined my wife with a child. So, she's stuck, I'm stuck, and we just could treat each other like assholes and still bang each other and be like lovey-dovey at the same time. So I'm very removed from this issue. I get to act like how I want. I don't have the same parameters I have to live by in my household as some people might. You know what
absolutely.
I mean? I say cunt very often. My wife doesn't seem to have a problem with that.
Well, once you're with a woman long enough, I think you both get conditioned to each other when you make that kind of commitment, especially having a child and living together.
Oh, yeah, we made a person with
mutual bills, a mutual place. White knights come in all shapes and sizes, and for me, the thing is
mostly though they come in like ectomorphic shapes and sizes.
You know, and that's a blow to us fat guys.
They're very slim-wristed usually.
You know, I think I think some guys become white knights unknowingly. Like I think there's some guys that it's for the right reasons, because they haven't been introduced to how the world and biology actually really works. They have an idealized version of the male-female dichotomy.
I know a couple of those dudes, yes.
And
those are usually guys who are inexperienced in relationships as well.
I was that guy until I was like, 24.
That's yeah.
Because like I thought I was doing something noble, and then I realized that I was, fucking myself, putting things on a pedestal, and not letting people stand on their own 2 feet.
Mm-hmm.
You're just enabling a fucking bad situation, trying to be a good guy. So for guys like that, that's about learning the real psychology between how men and women actually operate. Sure. Then there's the white knight, which I want to talk about tonight, where it's the fucking guy that waits on Facebook or IG to see that sad breakup.
There's a white knight by circumstance, which is the one you mentioned first, and a white knight by choice, by decision, is the one you're talking about now. Like a person who's just deciding that something's chauvinistic or misogynistic or anti whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like they're making a decision that what you're saying is wrong because they find themselves to be somehow the fucking police of your fucking words, which is ridiculous. It's a fucking garbage notion. And also, I've had friends of mine, I've been arguing with my wife, when she was my girlfriend,
right.
and been and had friends be like, hey man, don't fucking talk to her like that. And I'll be like, fuck you. We live together. I fuck her. She fucks me. That's our fucking business. She's an adult. My wife happens to be a bad bitch. She's an executive in a fucking big company. She doesn't need anybody to protect her from me telling her to go fuck herself, because she'll tell me to go eat shit right back. You know what I mean? I've had very dear friends, people you've met, say to me some shit, and I've had to be like, hey, fuck you. That's my business. Don't get involved in that shit. Do you see me grabbing her, hitting her, swinging her around? No. I told her she was an asshole. Move on. Not your business.
There's been so times that I've been with people, right, and they get into a fight in front of you, and dude will go off and be like, you fucking cunt and shit. And the worst that I've ever said back is fucking I don't, you guys fight. I'm but fucking it's weird when you guys fight in front of other people.
That's more that
I think it's weird that you called your wife a cunt in front of me, and then we're gonna go sit and have dinner next Sunday. Fucking everything's I'm this is very uncomfortable. So there's shit like that, but
yes,
I think there's a special place in fucking hell, if there is a fucking hell, for guys that wait to see trouble in paradise and then try to swoop in fucking Barry, fucking White Knight.
Those people, man,
on the fucking...
They always been there. Now they just have a kind of home on the internet, Facebook and shit and all that. These cats exist. They're shit stirrers. You know what I mean? They love to fucking hype shit up regardless of what it is. Whatever their cause is, they're shit stirrers. Those cats exist all the fuck over the place. And that's I don't know, I would say that's the biggest problem that I have with the white knight thing, where it's most of the time it's dudes too trying to say what's chauvinistic, and it's fuck you, you're not even a chick to say shit. If you really believe in equality, let a chick defend her fucking self. What do you...
those guys are great for girls that need to own a dude. You ever just seen a guy,
yeah.
I've been tried to... There's one time I was, really forced to be put in that position. Mm-hmm. And this girl was, a model. She owned her own salon and shit. She's, doing well, but she was, loopy. And she wanted to control everything, control what I do, control what I say. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't work with me. And,
with anybody with, their own fucking mind, it really shouldn't work. You know what I mean? Anybody who's got their own fucking head on their shoulders. There are people who are vacant, though. They're a little, you know what I mean? They're
women like this are the reason. Another reason why these people exist, because she was one of those girls that would throw out that SOS flag in a vague way, fucking. Her niece was showing me her fucking chat log, as fucking every time we got in a fight, she talked to 10 dudes on Facebook.
Wow.
And he's so mean, he's so this, he's so that, and then and the reason why the niece did this, the niece was 14 years old, was to be like, dude, you didn't do any of this shit. I live with you guys. It's just like, you're cool as fuck. What? Do you see what she does?
That's fucking funny.
And so this little 14-year-old, like, this is something that fucking stays with me.
14-year-old had more reason than this fucking adult.
Listen to this shit. Fucking, when I got into the situation, I was living there, fucking, we're all living together. There's the, one bedroom with a 14-year-old and me and this chick. So that the 14-year-old had the bedroom. We slept out in the fucking living room and shit. The 14-year-old tells me after we break up and everything, and she went back to New York to go be with her family and stuff, she said that she was about to kill herself because of how fucking this chick would make her feel, like she'd put her down, and she's like a little rocker chick. Mm-hmm. And the girl that I was dating was like this diva ass, like she was obsessed with Mariah Carey, scary obsessed. Tried to look like her, tried to sing like her and shit. And
that must have been so annoying. Her trying to hit those highs.
She's good. I'll give her that. She can sing, but like she's a cunt. So like there's no other way to fucking put that. But this girl told me, like, she's like, dude, I was gonna kill myself, and she's like, and when you came, she's like, you made me feel like it was cool to be me.
Wow.
And I was like, dude, I'm like, it is. I'm like, look, Amanda's head's messed up. Like, she's fucked in the head. Like, you can't fix that shit. Like, and to this day, she drops me texts. I'm doing great. I hope you're doing well. Like, fucking. But, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, a girl like that, they throw out that SOS, and then they breed, like, because, like, fucking, dude, like, it's like the guy that sends dick pics. I have more respect for you, guy. All right? Dick pic guy, I like you because you're just throwing it out there like, would you like that?
I mean, I've worked at...
Hi, I'm Sergio. Would you like my penis? Like
hello, and
instead of, hey, I saw your post on Facebook. Is everything all right?
You okay?
Hey,
you okay?
If you need to talk, just know Brandon's here.
Hey, PM me, all right? I want to know you're okay.
Hey, was he mean?
Oh, fuck that shit.
He doesn't deserve a girl like you.
Fucking scavenger animal. Well, again, that comes from like a weird place. That comes from like a weird beta place.
Dick guy is at least just fucking honestly
throwing it out there.
Like, oh, that girl took a picture in a bikini. Here's my dick, you fuck. Like that's like some like that's
DTF
like
girl.
That's like what happens when you give like a dude from Greece a cell phone. Like, huh? I guess this is how you meet girl. Puzzo. Yes, good.
That's great.
But what I would love to see in our fellow men is to hold women to the same standard as men. Let's have equality, and it's not going to come from anywhere else but being honest. That's going to be the main thing. Like, when you're arguing with your girl, neither one of you should sugarcoat how you feel. If something really bothers you,
absolutely,
like, let it out. And if you're like, and don't fucking push things farther than they need to go.
Let me tell you, I've been in a relationship a long time. There's two kind of problems: problems that you can eat, deal with yourself, process individually, and they won't come up and repeat and bubble up in you. And those are the ones you let go. That's the classic picking your battles. And then there are the ones that you can't do that with. And those you have to address immediately. If there's something important to you, and if you want to be in a long-term successful relationship, sometimes you got to talk about shit that's going to be like ugly honest, as my wife and I call it. Like, you might have to say to your partner, like, hey, can you like throw down some effort? I want to fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, can you give me a little something? Can you throw a little ass shake my way or something, or whatever it is? Maybe it's your chick talking to her dude, like saying, hey, you're getting fucking fat, or hey, you know what I mean? Whatever. Like, you need to take more showers or shave your balls or whatever. You have to have those conversations if you want to have success in a relationship. And that kind of honesty, if you don't develop that before you're in that long-term relationship, and you're not allowed to develop that by being a fucking piece of shit that you might be, those types of dudes, those white knight dudes, they're going to hinder. That shit hinders all real functional kind of interaction.
Well, people, what I see, people are conditioned to be dishonest.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, we're like on our job applications, we bullshit a bit.
Yes.
When we meet someone and go on a date, and it took me 28, 29 years to like really break out of the bullshit mode and just it sucks for some people because I don't mean to hurt them. Right. I don't mean to fucking make them feel bad. But like and like Patrice said, like it's not brutal honesty. Honesty's a beautiful thing. Lies are brutal. And for me, like, I'll tell like, you know, like if a girl is like, you know, well, how come not me? Like, I'll be like, you're ugly to me. Like, you have a cool personality, but I don't want to be with you. Like,
yeah.
And like, you know, and who the fuck am I? Like, you know, anyone else should feel free to tell me the same thing if I'm approaching you.
Yeah, it goes both ways for
like,
sure.
So, like, trust me, like,
Yes.
I want that same honesty too, because I've been with people that I thought, you know, were really digging it.
Well, I've done it to myself where I'm like brutally honest with my chick, and then when she's honest back, I'm like, like fucking hurt or whatever. But you have to be ready for that too. If you want the right to be, you have to get it back. You know what I mean? If you're gonna send out your dick pic, you might have a chick be like, "Wow, you got a terrible dick." You know what I mean? Like, awful cock. No, thank you. That's gonna be a part of the game.
And that's the, you know, the gamut you run.
Well, that's what these dudes, these white knights, these fucking, you know, phony heroes. That's what they hinder. They hinder honest interaction between men and women. Because the fact of the matter is, like, there is legit chauvinism or whatever you call it, you know what I mean, out there, but it doesn't exist in speech, man. It exists in action. It exists in the way people treat each other and shit like that.
You guys hear this?
And because I say cunt or fucking whatever or call a girl a broad, I have a daughter, you know what I mean? Like, I want her to be successful and happy and have a fucking wonderful life in whatever way she chooses to make it wonderful, whether she wants to have a fulfilling career or a relationship or both or whatever the fuck she wants to do. You know what I mean? I'm not a chauvinist because I say cunt and because I think Band Bossy is ridiculous. Band Bossy is not going to shatter the fucking glass ceiling for you. It's going to make people use a different word to fucking call you a cunt in an office setting. You know what I mean? Like, so you have to look at the fucking core of an issue, and the core of the issue is fallacy, and that's what white knight bullshit perpetuates. I worked the door at a club many a night, and there was one particular night where this girl was fucking wasted, and she was finger popping herself in the club and trying to put her fingers in people's faces. And when she tried to do it to me, I shoved her away from me, and she fell on the ground. And a dude wanted to fucking try and scrap me up because of that. Some dude that wasn't even in the club, some asshole walking by. That kind of attitude is like, you don't even know what the fuck just happened in there. Maybe she stomped on a baby. I don't know why there's a baby in there, but maybe that's what the fuck she did. That kind of shit, that kind of blanket fucking blindness fucks shit up, man. That shit ruins things.
You know, chivalry is great and everything, guys.
It's got its place, like everything
but
else.
But chivalry is like if you see a woman getting the shit beat out of her, you know.
If you see anybody, though, getting the shit beat out of them, maybe you should do something.
Absolutely.
And that goes back to equality. You know what I mean? Like, if you or me saw a woman getting beat on by two dudes in an alleyway,
I would stop and help another dude.
We'd react right away. But if I'm completely honest, if I saw a dude getting his ass kicked by two guys in an alleyway, I'd give it a second first. I'd give it a look. I might give it a listen. You know what I mean? I might, hey, what are you doing talking to my 15-year-old sister? If I hear that, then maybe I let it go. You know what I mean? Like, so, but with a woman, I don't think I'd wait. I don't think I'd wait. Yeah, I don't think I'd wait if it was a woman. I think I'd react a lot more instantaneously, and that's more chauvinism than saying cunt or bossy or whatever the fuck. That's more of a chauvinistic mentality or attitude, because what if that bitch just murdered that guy's grandma? Like,
it's true.
Who knows what happened there? Maybe she's got his penis in her pocket because she scissored it off.
I got my penis in my pocket for you. Yeah, speaking of white knights, I wanted to bring up my other favorite white knights, the White Knights of the Southern Cross.
Oh boy!
All this crazy shit with these fucking racists and black people. I feel like we have to talk about it because it's something that's been fucking flooding the internet and flooding society.
So fucking dumb.
All right, guys, let me lay it down for you. The last thing that the powers that be want is unity. Is people going, wow, we're all getting kind of fucked here by a small group of people. There are a lot of us.
Everyone's focused on racists when they should be focused on like classists. There's a whole thing going on where it's like a caste system in the world. And we don't really realize it because we're focused on like gay people marrying each other and flags and this and that.
Carlin said it best, man. Symbols are for the simple-minded.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if you get into all that shit, like, whenever we change it, like, you know, guys, For me, it comes down to, look, there's some gas stations you don't want to go to because you just know the element that's there. And it goes both ways. I felt uncomfortable in hick towns in Kansas being a white dude walking into a white place.
Sure.
The same way I felt uncomfortable going into a black neighborhood gas station.
Any place where you're outside of your natural element, you're going to feel that way.
And any place you're in extreme poverty with angry fucking people.
And people are
and that's
out
where it comes from.
Yeah.
It's the poverty. It's not your skin. It's the fucking...
Absolutely.
The anger of fucking struggling so much. And, like, yeah, there's people who don't try. But let's get real. Like, I know that we all know someone who tries... who's barely making it happen.
Yeah, who's scraping by.
Or you know someone who tried their ass off and they couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, this world will swallow some people.
Eat your life. Look, my wife has a great job. I bust my ass. And we still, have to make ends meet because the life we're living, you know what I mean? The lifestyle that we have or whatever. We want things to be comfortable for our kid, all that kind of shit. So you got to crack that nut every fucking month. And some folks, man, it's hard to crack that motherfucker. Some folks, it's like, they're I heard Jim Gaffigan had a great fucking joke where he was like, oh, what's it like having 4 kids? Well, imagine drowning and then someone hands you a baby.
Oh, God.
That shit that's what life feels like, man. That's what it fucking feels like so many times. Something just piles on and you're just like, fuck, another fucking load. And this is what we're worried about. We're worried about flags, what flags flying where. I posted some shit on Facebook too, man. Like, I know so many motherfuckers. We're down here in the dirty. We're in the fucking south of the South, Florida. And I know so many dudes who are like rednecky cats because I grew up in Florida. And you're going to know like people from the Northeast if you grew up in Florida. You're going to know rednecks. You're going to know Cubans, spics like me. You're going to know, and mixes of said island folks down here. Like,
island.
But I know plenty of redneck dudes and they're like on that heritage shit. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's my fucking heritage, man. It's my flag, it's my heritage. That flag didn't even fly over Florida during the fucking Civil War. There's like some other flag that looks like some kid draw it in like 3rd grade, like a coloring book. Like it's a whole different flag.
Here's the thing, okay?
So it's like what does it matter?
Rednecks and everybody, stop pretending you're history majors. And let me tell you guys something. Like, we should start treating the past like an ex. Okay? Stop celebrating the past because it's over. But just like how you don't celebrate your old relationships, you have to take what happened and learn from it, but not live in it. Otherwise, you'll never grow from that.
I like that.
So that's the whole thing is like, yeah, okay, all this shit happened. It's like, let's make a new fucking world where shit's a little bit better. And not be like, well, this is what we was, and this is what, my people were from Africa. It's like, well, now we're here.
Yeah.
Now we're here, we have to fucking figure this out.
Well, I love when people ask me, like, oh, what are you, Drew? I'm like, I'm fucking American, dude. Like, I was born in Miami. That's pretty much America.
Speaking of which, dude, Don Fry, I got lost in a fucking...
In a video. His interviews are some of the funniest He's... probably the 2nd or 3rd best interviews from the mixed martial arts world outside of Nick Diaz and fucking Dana White is Don Fry. First of all, he sounds like he eats cigarettes and nails for breakfast in a cereal bowl. Don Fry fucking sounds like this. And he looks like Tom Selleck but made out of leather.
When he fought the one, I think, the Brazilian dude in Pride 16.
Fought a lot of motherfuckers. Don Fry.
Who was the guy he fought in Pride 16?
The Pride 16.
The Brazilian kid, his head looked like a thumb with the little turning curly hairs. He grabbed the microphone and goes, "Boy, I was good fucked." He lost by the fucking disqualification by holding the rope.
Was he Brazilian or was it a black kid, a Dutch kid named Gilbert Ivel?
That's him, Gilbert Ivel.
A lot of tats.
Yep, that's him.
Yeah, Gilbert Ivel was like, I don't understand why I'm always getting fucked. I'm always getting fucked up. Gilbert Ivel's one of the dirtiest fucking fighters in the history of the sport. And when I was a fighting heavyweight, I would love to fight that guy. I would have elbowed his face. He
scratched Don Fry's eye.
He's known for eye gouging. He knocked out a ref before. He's known for holding ropes, cages, doing shifty shit, trying to unsettle people's cups.
He scratched Don Fry's eyes with his fingernails. Mm-hmm. Don Fry went into that fight with fucking a torn groin muscle and still went at this guy.
Yeah. Like Don Fry was an animal, man. He has some classic matches. His fight with Ken Shamrock is one of my favorite all-time fights. I think he got one or both of his ankles.
That explosiveness.
He was just a beast. He's like a dude that if like you're dating a chick and she's like, I really want you to be my dad, and you see that guy, you're like, oh, this guy's gonna be a fucking problem. This guy's gonna be a fucking nightmare. Like, really, like him and Dan Severn have that same look where they just look like someone's.
Dan Severn looks like he might take you for like beer and wings.
Yes, he might be really cool.
And talk to you somewhere and be like, look, just be good to my daughter, and it won't have to.
He's got that real fucking. I think he's from either Michigan or from Chicago. Dan Severn. And he's got that real Michigan. Hey there, fucking kind of like Midwest. Like, hey, I'd be good. Take care of her. He does not sound scary at all. Mark Kerr was the same way.
But dude, like Don Fry, he reminds you of like if like you have like a military uncle who like shake your hand and then press down the
try to fuck your hand up on purpose.
Press this part of your fucking hand and you're like, oh god,
like an asshole.
Like just real quick to let you know, like I can take you apart just by holding your hands.
He reminds me of like if you were to go on remember like the movie City Slickers. He reminds me of that guy Curly, like the fucking cowboy fucking guy. Like that shit. That dude is a real fucking original. He's a fucking animal.
So speaking of MMA shit, fucking I saw something that they're considering tossing Diaz out of UFC.
Diaz, Nick, you mean?
Yeah, for the marijuana and all that bullshit. I doubt they're gonna do that because no matter what, it's kind of like, you know how like The Rock was like the people's champion wrestling.
Sure.
That's Nick Diaz. Like he's like the everyman's fighter.
He is a fan fucking favorite, no question.
Like when they say his name, the place goes bonkers.
Yes.
And it's because like that's a dude that really like he not only did he come from nothing. Like, I have friends that, like, work as RNs that have nicer houses than he does. Like, I've seen his crib shit with Ronda Rousey and all that, and when they go bike
well, part of that, too, is because he doesn't want to leave where he's from. I mean, he doesn't want to leave Lodi. I went down there when I was in San Francisco, and I saw the gym that he trains out of, and I saw, like, the area that he's from, and it's a rough spot. It's not a nice area. My wife and I went to this Mexican restaurant in Lodi, and we're fucking eating, and we got there, and it was, like, daytime, and there's, like, dispensaries, so there's, like, hipsters and shit around. And we eat, and we bullshit with I'm talking to all the Mexican guys that fucking work there. I'm like, "Cuántan legal?" Who's fucking legal back here, motherfuckers? I was like, my people swam here. We got dry feet. We're allowed to stay. Like, fucking talking shit. And then we're getting ready to leave, and I look outside, and it's fucking dark. And it's fucking hood dark, like where they don't care if the fucking streetlights are out. And I, like, open up the fucking door, and I can hear, like, the sounds of the hood, like, distant fucking hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? Bottles clanking, the wind blowing. I'm like, fuck. All right, we're gonna have to walk to to either where we can get a cab or a bus. So I'm like, hey, give me your Coke bottle. She's like, why? And I was like, give it to me. She's like, I finished it already. It's empty. And I was like, I know, Eva. Give me the fucking thing. Give me the fucking thing. If I gotta crack somebody's fucking head with it, yeah. And she was like, fucking, oh.
That's the thing on your feet. All right, motherfuckers.
Oh.
Woman logic doesn't take you there. Mm. But the nice men were going to steal our shit, you know?
Don fucking Fry.
But, man, like, if the UFC does decide to
he'll be back. And Dana likes him. He sells tickets. He's good for the sport. If they boot him for the weed thing, it's ridiculous because the couple times now that he's been affected by athletic commissions, he's a legal card-carrying medical marijuana user. You know what I mean? That would be like if you had a prescription for anti-inflammatory and they were like, hey, this anti-inflammatory, you can't fucking take this type of pill.
That's what makes me so upset. It's like, you know, PEDs and shit like that, like fucking whatever, man. Like that.
I mean, there's prescribed PEDs that used to exist. Doesn't anymore.
Remember the one fight that he fought on edible?
Takanori Gomi, I think. Yeah. They were saying with the Takanori Gomi fight,
he like tapped the dude out and looked like he was like
go plata.
He's like barely.
But thinking the Takanori Gomi fight, after he popped out for that, they said he had so much in his system that he was definitely high during the fight. Like that was the quote from the supposed reports. But again, it's like that's such a victimless fucking situation, man. It's ridiculous that they put their focus on shit like that. And you got situations like recently, what happened in the mixed martial arts world. Stitch Duran, the cut man, he was let go from the UFC as it's being flooded around the internet right now. He was let go from the production as a result of saying some things about the new Reebok deal that's come into play. Reebok has taken exclusive sponsorship of the UFC, and a lot of fighters aren't happy about that because they're being sponsored now on a ranking scale. They're receiving their paycheck through that. Oh. And some of them, they had brokered better deals, you know what I mean, with other organizations. So you have guys that are talking about, taking, many thousands, tens of thousands of dollar pay cuts, in some cases even, much more than that. It's crazy. It's crazy to see.
I think it's so fucked how homogenized everything's getting and how it's insane.
I mean, part of it though is that that struggle for legitimacy has gone on so long in the sport, where now we're seeing the opportunity to be legitimized and the caveats that come with it, and it's now a sport. I think we can say that it's definitely been brought into the mainstream. It's on Fox, it's getting network acclaim, but the fucking thing that I just hope we don't lose what makes it fucking great. And I'm sure people felt like that about boxing at the turn of the century, where they're like, they're gonna make them wear gloves. Those fucking pussies.
Well, one of the things that I thought made UFC really stand out, especially going on UFC memories, when I watched the first few UFCs, seeing those crazy like a big dude versus a real tiny dude.
Oh yeah, those weight classless fights.
Seeing a fucking Muay Thai fucking kickboxer
judo guy
versus a collegiate wrestler who has no strike. Seeing there was almost something beautiful about seeing so many different body styles, different styles of fighting, and seeing how they would work against each other. There was really a gladiator-esque fucking beauty to that.
Yeah.
I feel like now, when I watch MMA, it's kind of like hybrid jiu-jitsu wrestling with striking. Boxing and then some fucking Muay Thai knee. A guy like Anderson Silva is a perfect example. And look at a guy like Chael Sonnen. He becomes a dinosaur as the sport goes on.
I mean, now as we go, you have kids like George St. Pierre. I think was the first guy that was just everything, that could execute everything. Didn't even have a collegiate wrestling background. He's one of the best mixed martial arts wrestlers that's ever been. I mean, one of the highest level wrestlers to have no wrestling pedigree. You know what I mean? And you have these kids now like him, like Rory Markham, your John Joneses, who they're just coming out of the gate knowing everything. That's when you talk about those.
Well, the training's so different.
Absolutely, it's so different now.
Look at the Diaz. Once they added the boxing,
and you
don't see them throwing too many kicks.
Now in the Anderson Silva fight, Nick probably threw the most kicks he ever threw in his career. He's recently been training with a guy called Joe Schilling, and Joe Schilling is a phenomenal kickboxer. I'd say he's top 4, between top 5, top 3, kickboxers in his weight. I think he's in the 170 something pound weight in kickboxing. I don't know all their weights as much anymore. It's changed so much in kickboxing, but they have him now that they're working with. And that's one of the great things about the Diaz brothers. They went to real boxers. They went to guys like Andre Ward, real top-notch, high-level, championship-level boxers to develop that. You know what I mean? And that's what you have now. Well, in the old days, when you talk about those old fights, you have guys like Dan Severn, who's just a wrestler. You have guys like Hoist Grace, who just does jiu-jitsu. Kickboxers, they're specialists in that day. You know what I mean? And then you had that era of guys like Crow Cop, guys like Mark Coleman, who were specialists who could do other shit, kind of. You know what I mean? You had Matt Hughes could kind of box you up a little bit if you didn't know how to box, but he was still a specialist, amazing wrestler. And those guys started to go away. They're the dinosaurs now. You know what I mean? Chuck Liddell was another example of that. He was a wrestler who could kickbox, not really big with jiu-jitsu, not that into it.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I think now it's about having equal fighters, and it's it's pretty much like an arm wrestling match just between your whole body.
Well, now it used
Back
to
then
be,
it was such a stylistic fucking crazy thing.
It used to be style versus style. What style can dominate? What style is the best style? What techniques are going to get you the win? Now it's which athlete specifically, who. Because now everybody knows everything. Everybody knows how to execute an armbar. Everybody knows how to execute a triangle. Now who's the innovator? Who's gonna throw the crazier shit? Who's gonna execute that crazy shit better? It's really about that individual and what they put into their training. Yeah, it's changed over the years, man. You want to talk about that memory lane? When you look back at those first couple of UFCs, and you've got just there was one fight. God, I think the guy's name was Scott Norris, something like that, and he fought this guy named Pat Smith. And Pat Smith was this boxer and karate guy or kickboxer guy. I forget. He was Ken Shamrock beat him via leg lock. He was just this super athletic looking, scary looking black dude with fucking, he got to be like 6'2", 200 and change, and he was just super muscular. And this guy, Scott Norris, looked like a dude who worked at like a pool supply store. Like he would like be the dude carrying those yellow chlorine tubs out to your car with you. He had like that almost mullet, and he was wearing those like parachute kind of pants, those martial art pants that Steven Seagal would wear.
Okay.
And a sleeveless shirt.
I remember that.
And he was like a ninjutsu expert, and I remember his stance was funny looking. And I'll never forget, they rush each other, they smack into each other, they go to the ground. Norris gets mounted like instantaneously by Pat Smith, and Pat Smith proceeds to just smash him with elbows until the ref like figures out that it's over. And that you're thinking Gary Goodridge versus Paul Herrera.
Okay.
That destroyed Paul Herrera's face. He was a legit wrestler. That was the David and Goliath matches in Puerto Rico, where he shot in a takedown on Gary Goodridge. Gary Goodridge sprawled all weird and got him in a weird crucifix position and just was like, ah! Like over and over again. He broke his whole face apart.
It was so scary.
That was a vicious KO. Gary Goodridge is a huge guy. Poor Gary Goodridge. Shout out to that guy. He's going through pugilistic and dementia issues now and having all kind of problems with the traumas that he received in the gym. He had some of the best series in the world against some of the hardest hitters ever. He fought in K1. He fought Igor Vovchanchyn, I think, 2 or 3 times, who was probably the hardest hitter of the era. Gary Goodridge was one of the hardest hitters himself. He's a Japanese arm wrestling champion as well. He's a bad motherfucker. But but Pat Smith versus Scott Norris or Terry Norris, I forget which. He elbowed him like these type of elbows, these forearm shiver style elbows, and his whole shit was fucked, man. And he tried to get up after the fight was over, and he was just falling down on himself. That was a type of thing that it had to happen. Those dudes were the sacrificial lambs to the god of martial arts to prove, like, all right, don't say you're a ninja if you're not really a fucking ninja, bro.
Damn straight.
Don Fry, we were talking about earlier, that same tournament where Gary Goodridge smashed Paul Herrera's face to bits with his elbow. There was a guy, I want to say his name was Steven Ramirez, but I can't remember. He was just a big fat fuck, and I want to say he was a kung fu specialist. Same scenario, puffy pants, sleeveless shirt, and that big fat fuck tried to fight Don Fry. Don Fry
did not work too well.
Hit him with a right hand lead, dropped him immediately, fight was over. Really, like just like that. Dude just wasn't ready. And those guys, those fights, you did get the best judo guy in some cases versus the best kickboxer. But in most cases, you got some dude who worked in a mini mall, like in a strip mall somewhere, and he was like, yeah, man, I've been doing fucking ninjutsu for like 4 years, dude. I'm going to go in the UFC and show fucking dem mock to a motherfucker. And then you get a guy who can fight, like a Pat Smith, who's boxed, who's kickboxed, and he's from Compton. And he's just going to bash your face. Yeah, he's got that fucking poor people rage. Yeah, man, those days, they're gone, but they're not forgotten.
I definitely want to say, like, before we segue to the final little bits of our podcast, if you are a fight fan and you get sucked into this whole, like the McGregor Aldo shit or all this, like this blah, 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 blah.
Ronda Rousey
fight. Let me put it to you like this. If you have the balls to step into the fucking octagon, whether you're the worst fighter or the best fighter, fucking you're not a pussy.
Absolutely.
It's a scary fucking place. Absolutely. Like, I've never even been there. I've sparred and I've done, like, tournaments when I did Kempo and Taekwondo and did wrestling tournaments when I was a kid and shit. But, like, dude, like, that is a fucking scary world to go into. Yeah, so you should have nothing but respect for anyone that goes into the ring, and especially like a psychopath like Nick Diaz who will trash talk and act like an animal in the cage. But if you notice, almost after every fight, he's picking somebody up. Absolutely. He's hugging somebody, lifting their arm.
Absolutely.
So like, there's a real, fans act like fucking NASCAR fans, like Mountain Dew drinking fucking retards.
Yes.
Yo, man, the discipline it takes to be in this sport, like, it isn't a baseball game.
It's so difficult. It's so scary. It's such a thing to put yourself through. You put your body through. You break yourself apart doing it. And I was fortunate enough to, like, be a member of the club, like, and compete. It's an awesome experience. It's a fun thing to be a part of. It's something you'll never, it'll never go away, and I'll never be afraid of certain things because of that, but it's hard when people don't give you the proper, like, I've had, like, cousins of mine come up to me after a loss and be like, bro, next time, you know what I mean? Like everything else, next time, that shit is like a fucking, I've heard stories of guys like Chris Lieben, who's one of the fucking hardest hitting middleweights of all time with the fucking hardest coconut noggin. You're not going to fuck that guy up. People were coming up to him after the Anderson Silva fight, like telling him shit he needs to do with his fight career. And it's like, he's good. You know what I mean? Like, he's got coaches and shit. They're working it out. And the minute he loses, know that he's bummed out about it and that he's frustrated about it and that he's thinking about every little thing that happened up to that moment where he lost that fight. So, yeah, definitely,
give the utmost respect to these people. Don't get caught up in bullshit. And at the end of the day, it's about who's the best fighter. And
be thankful that these guys are putting their bodies on the line to entertain you, because most of them don't make a great living off of it. They don't make the big bucks. And they end up, a dude like myself who's, working his way through life after having battered himself. And I never got to be, I was never good enough to compete at the heights of, a UFC or a big organization. But, it was a great, fun time. I enjoyed it very much. I don't regret any one bit of it. But, show love to the guys that risk it and the girls that risk it, that's all.
And also UFC food for thought. Nick Diaz versus Conor McGregor, make that happen.
Nick or Nate?
I don't know. Attitude-wise, I think either one of them.
I think Nick before has made it down to 155, but I think that would be a really hard cut for him now, and Conor would have to come up to 145. But I see, from 145 rather, but I could see Nate giving him fits. I could see Nate giving him a lot of trouble. Nate's tough. That'd be a fun fight. That would be a lot of shit talk in that fight.
I think that would draw a lot of people.
There'd be a lot of buzz for that one.
So before we go, we want to do a little top 5. Our favorite smoking tunes. These could be nostalgic or whatever. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go. We'll do like a top 6. We'll go one for one. We'll each do 3.
That sounds good.
And so I'm going to give the floor to you.
Oh.
Hit us up with a song.
Shit. In the summertime, man. Mungo Jerry.
Okay, in the summertime.
My favorite line in that song is like, have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find. And it's like, such from a different era. You know what I mean? Like, get fucked up. Go tool around in your car. Have a good time. Like, that's a great smoking song. That makes me think of like a day on the beach with my chick, fucking nice and stoned, eating fucking watermelon wedges and shit. That's like that's one of the all-time happy smoking songs for me. You know what I mean? No question.
Happy smoking song. We got Mungo Jerry.
Mungo Jerry, that fucking Mungo.
I'm gonna have to say.
Is that a racist term, Mungo?
It could be. It sounds
right? It sounds pretty racial.
I'd say my number 3 is Heart of the Sunrise by Yes. Bill Buford on the drums, fucking destroying. It's 11 minutes long, and I love listening to songs, especially when I'm smoking alone, that take you on a journey without seeing anything. I love when you can close your eyes and get completely lost in the music. And Yes, well, if you know anything about rock and roll, fucking Yes is one of the greatest prog rock bands of all time. So if you haven't heard Heart of the Sunrise or Smoke the Number and fucking listen to it. And same thing with the Mungo Jerry song. What do you got for your number 2?
I would say going along with your journey, like the journey that a song, fucking Floyd. I don't know. I always fuck up the name of the song, but the one, the lunatic is on the gross. The lunatic is in my head. Any fucking Pink Floyd
when
song.
It goes into the all that you touch.
Yes. That fucking jam, that's to me like a bong rip song by the time you finish taking the rip, and that song really kicks in. But again, any Floyd song really like can take me on that ride. If I had one band I had to listen to, only that band, it would probably be Floyd.
See, like I've never been a big Pink Floyd fan. I've always kind of thought they were really overrated.
Love it,
but I will say that Dark Side of the Moon is a great concept album because to me the subtext of it is the heartbeat, the scream, it's birth and death. At the end, like all that you touch, it's that when you're dying and everything's replaying in your mind, the lunatic's on your hill, your health is slipping, your sanity's slipping, everything's coming apart. Money's in the middle of the album, track 7.
Yes.
So like
the middle of your life. Yeah.
So I think as far as something that captures the westernized human experience and kind of like the surreal, beautiful horror of it. Dark Side of the Moon is a powerful album, but that's one of the Floyd albums that I actually do really enjoy a lot.
I'm a big Floyd fan myself. I something like you said when you just said, you know, a song that takes you on a journey. That's what flooded. Like thinking about those songs drag me along with them. They speak to me in a great way. I love that shit. So yeah, back to you, sir.
All right, my number 2. My number 2 favorite smoking song of all time is 93 to Infinity by Souls of Mischief. If you don't know this about me, I am a classic hip-hop fiend, a boom bap kid. Like, I had a brother 10 years older than me. So when I was 7, he was 17, and we're in New York. He lived in Staten Island. Needless to say, Wu-Tang Clan was in my vernacular by 8 years old. And, like, I was, you know, getting into the same stuff that he was into because, like, that's who you look up to. But that music's always stuck with me, and even in my hip-hop music, when you hear my delivery and the instrumentals that I choose or the ones that we make, like, I try to carry that on. And 93 to Infinity is like a Cali, and I don't usually like a lot of Cali stuff, but the delivery, the beat, the vibe of it, that's like a sunny fucking happy day. A girl calls you might get your dick sucked by the end of the night. The fucking dealer calls you up and says, yo, I got hash on deck too. So, it's, you know, it's going to be like one of those days where, you know.
Day where you find a 20 in your pocket, you're fucking ready to go.
Like my piece in the bathroom, the one that I have by the shitter, the acrylic one has the 93 to Infinity shit fucking right on there. Like, that's just something that it's mushed into that for me. So, what do you got for number 1, bub?
My number 1 right now, and this shit's always fluctuating. If you ask me my top 3 again in a week, they'll be different. But right now, the song that I'm listening to that shit nightly as I wind down before I like knock out for the night is the Ink Spots, When You Come to the End of the Day. When that Bill Kenny motherfucker comes in with that crazy weird falsetto shit that he did back then, when you come to the end of the day, that gets me every fucking time. I feel all nostalgia-y. I'm looking back at my life. I mean, that song right now, I've basically been listening to that shit every fucking night.
That's awesome. I'll have to listen to it after the podcast.
Yeah, I've been on an Ink Spots tear lately too, man.
All right, we're gonna listen to that after. My number 1 is Shambhala by 3 Dog Night.
Oh, that's a fucking great pick.
Shambhala, to me, washed away my troubles. Like, I've had a weird experience with psychedelics and with psychotropic drugs in my life, and when I smoke, I don't smoke as a form of escapism. I don't smoke because my knees hurt.
I do. I fucking definitely smoke.
Well, I know you smoke because your fucking knees hurt, especially now. But like for me, it's
awesome.
There's a spiritual factor to it. It's like my soul's cup of coffee.
I like that.
There's no other way to put it. It's like getting the Folgers fucking high.
I like that. That early morning buzz that gets you started.
I could be pissed off about a situation, stone cold sober, and then I could smoke, and I get real reflective, and I hate to bring up the wife beating racist Bob Marley, but like Marley said, you know, he would smoke, and it was a very reflective thing for him when he get big.
He hung out with white people too, man. He fucked white girls.
Well, yeah. Well, you don't have to be racist. You don't have to be not racist to fuck someone you're racist.
Go back to the grandpas. My grandfather used to always say, "Everybody's a racist until their fucking dicks out."
Yep, exactly.
One day everybody's gonna look like coffee with cream. Then we'll all cut to fucking shit.
Grandpa was a very wise man.
Yeah.
But the Shambhala is just a beautiful song. It's about, you know, cleansing, having fun. It's easy to like it's one of those songs that even when I take a rip, like I'm there, and like how you go to sleep with the Ink Spots, I start my day with Shambhala.
That's a fucking good one.
fucking
That's a good one to start with, like that fucking spring in your step.
Well, dude, when I go out the door, I see my neighbors, I wave and shit. I go get the mail.
It's a fucking awesome way to feel.
You know, go do my errands, go work. Like fucking everything's just beautiful.
Yeah.
So those are our top three each. And so final thoughts on my end, guys. All I can tell you is this: fucking don't meddle in other people's fucking relationships, and don't try to fucking be there for some, like, you know, like, let people work their shit out. And when people get out of a situation, give them time to fucking heal themselves. You know, and fucking learn to jerk off instead of being a piece of shit. Alright, guys, please, like, fucking be better men than that. And also, fucking, women are awful a lot of the time, so if they're in a bad spot, maybe it's because they're being pieces of shit too. We're all people. You want to talk about equality, feminism, fucking chauvinism? Look, like, treat people like people. Like, hold people accountable the same way you would, whether you have a vagina or a cock. If you do something shitty, if you have an attitude, if you're acting ungrateful, like, it should be called to your attention, and you should have to deal with it like an adult. No more of this Disney-esque coddling. Like, stop with this shit. There's no fucking reason for it, and we'll all be better off when we're honest and not putting fucking sexuality on a pedestal like we do, and being shady about how we fucking go from person to person. It's a little fucked up, and just fucking cut it out. And also get stoned and listen to good music. Be a good person. And, you know, and if you're that guy, send those dick pics, because you're better than the fucking white knights. You're a better person. Alright, so dick pic guys, fucking, you know.
You're alright, dick pic.
You're grody, but fucking, you're grody with purpose.
As long as
and
you
it's
clean out that foreskin before you fucking snap that pic, you're right.
You gotta fucking get that schmegma off and put a little gold bond on that ball sack, you fuck. So, and what do you got, my brother?
Man, at the end of the day, you're gonna look at your life, and you're going to see where you are, where you've been, and all the shit in the middle. Just remember, I think Bill Withers said it best, and I'm going to end on a quote. On your way to amazing from terrible, you're going to have to deal with a lot of alright just in the middle. So, get used to that shit. Get familiar with that shit, because you're going to spend most of your time there in the middle. Life is that, man. Life is the middle. Life is finding your way through all the mundane mediocrity and still enjoying yourself. Still trying to find something worthwhile in it all. Make sure you get real comfortable with the middle. Make sure you get real comfortable with yourself. And when it comes to the end of the day, make sure you're fucking enjoying your life, because you don't know how many you're going to get. You may only get this one.
All right, everybody. Abu Danza from us to you. Salute. And big ups to Dab Hub. And we'll catch you guys another time. And as always, a lot of fun.
Dab Hub.
Fucking fat.